Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live on news about Desawe Kanda, also live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. I am Alfred Ocansey.
My name is Grace Hammoah Agyemang.
This evening here on Hot Edition, we have details of the reactions coming through right now with respect to Electoral Commission holding an IPAC meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, urging political parties to attend with 2 representatives. We have details of that. We'll give you some updates shortly, especially the expectations that these members of the political parties are going to this IPAC meeting with. Stay with us here on Hot Edition. We have details for you on that one. Also, death toll in Akrofi Obuasi road accident rises to 14, including a toddler. And in a related development, police say it has begun investigations into another accident in East Legon, which claimed 2 lives also over the weekend. And this is one that a number of you have been talking about on social media. So we have updates from the Ghana Police Service on that one here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Also with the strikes in the education sector, University of Ghana Senior Staff Association, and then also the Federation of the University Senior staff administrators have all suspended their strikes. We've got details of that shortly here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Cocoa Board is calling for immediate action to halt Galamsey as illegal miners compete with farmers over fertile lands. We have details for you on that here on Hot Edition. Also, we have campaign trail as we give you updates of what is happening across the various political parties. We have the latest in business and sports over the next 1 hour 30 minutes here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Let's get into the details of the stories now, and straight up we're getting information that the Interparty Advisory Committee will be meeting tomorrow. We have details of that shortly here on Hot Edition as we get through with it. Well, the political parties will be joining us. But on the issue of Galamsey right now, cocoa farming, a lifeblood of many Ghanaian communities, is now in a bitter struggle for survival. Illegal mining, also known as Galamsey, is eating away at fertile lands, leaving farmers grappling with declining yields and a shrinking future. CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin-Edu, has bemoaned what he calls a stiff competition between cocoa farming and illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, he called for urgent action to address what is rapidly eroding the country's cocoa production.
Cocoa is a national strategic commodity. It's not just an ordinary economic commodity in Ghana. It's a national strategic commodity. And therefore, we must all protect the cocoa. Look at the dollars that, cocoa brings to this country. And the sector is, I can say, is the only sector that brings in almost every shipment that is sent outside the country. Once we sell cocoa, all the forex, the dollars come into the country. So it's the central pillar of our economy. Very strategic commodity. We must protect and jealously guide it, to sustain it. But then it's having stiff competition with illegal mining. With price improvements, I think that's one way to check it. Now, given the price that farmers are having, it should at least keep some of these illegal miners at bay. And then number two, Cocoa Board is also reviewing, our legal department is reviewing the existing law. We have the Plant Protection, the Economic Plant Protection Act, 1979. That's AFRC Decree 47. And this act prohibits anybody from destroying a cocoa tree. In effect, you cannot even go and mine on a cocoa farm. Because if there's a law which prohibits anybody from, destroying a cocoa tree, we are reviewing to send to a sector ministry for stiffer. And then when you also look at the compensation, because currently the compensation is by negotiation with whoever is coming in, whether it's a mining company, a timber concessionaire, or whatever.
So that's the CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Bohiedo, that's Grace, confirming what is happening right now with respect to the impact of illegal mining on cocoa farmers. If I recall, there's this famous interview we had with one of the cocoa farmers who indicated that he's gladly sold his cocoa farm to these illegal miners. Cocoa Board went ahead to have a meeting with him. Little did they know that he was just one of many cocoa farmers who were suffering as a result of the impact of this illegal mining and have had to take that decision of selling off their farmlands to them. But still on Galamsey, a leader of the Democratic Hub protesters, that's Oliver Bakavomo, was earlier escorted to court from police custody. With him was fellow Democracy Hub protester Raphael Williams, who's already on bail but has decided to stand in solidarity with Oliver Bakavomo. A man on the beach, Lord Edwasari, was in court earlier today. He's joining me in the studio. Lord, what more do we know about what happened today?
Right, thank you, Alfred. So, today was the first time that the protesters came to court after being granted bail. Of course, Oliver is still in police custody, like he indicated earlier, but today we had a batch of 23 protesters in court. You recall that last week, Friday, there were about 10 of them, including Amagavna, where Amagavna was refuted the permits to travel outside the country. So today there was a different batch who were arraigned before the court, including another who was on hospital detention with Oliver Bakavomo finding O2. His plea was taken today. But the issue of Oliver's bail did not come up in court. Rather, the prosecution indicated that they had not been able to file their witness statements as well as their disclosures or documents that they would need to prosecute these Democracy Hub protesters, something that the presiding judge had ordered them to do at the last adjourned date. And that was why one other leading protester, Phyllis Nelson, was insisting that if the prosecution does not have any case against them, they should just drop it. Now, an interesting thing happened in court today, Alfred. One of the protesters by name Thomas Yeboah, his lawyers indicated that this person is not mentally sound. Now, this issue was first raised at the first hearing when they were arraigned before the court, but not much was made from it. Now, there's a story behind that. His lawyer, Nelson Amadonu, told the court that Thomas Yeboah was bundled together with the other protesters when he sought help from the police. From the narrative, they indicated that he is a Washington Bay attendant, and so he washes the vehicles of military personnel and other security personnel. So on the said day, he went to meet the police officers for them to help him, and he just bundled him together with it. So after hearing this, the judge indicated that this has been going on for a while because, like Oliver Bakavomo, Thomas Yeboah has also been in police custody for about 22 to 24 days. Although he has been granted bail, he still remains in police custody because nobody is ready to stand surety for him because of the state of his mind. And so his lawyers are making the case that they wanted the prosecution to carry out a psychological evaluation so that they will know what the way forward is, Alfred. At this point, the judge was upset about the situation. He said that this has gone on for too long. The prosecution, their job is to prosecute, not persecute. And so ordered them to carry out a psychological evaluation so that they'll know what to do next.
I say, so when next are they back in court?
So first, there are two batches, right? The one that had Oliver, they'll be back on October 24th because you recall that the last hearing at the High Court, the judge indicated that Oliver Barker-Vormawor's case should be heard on a daily basis, so he cannot be in police custody for too long without being in court. So October 24th, which is like Friday, they'll be back. And then the second set, which has Raphael Williams, they'll be back in court on November 6th, Alfred.
Lord, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much. Lord Edwasari is our legal affairs correspondent, was in court earlier today. Private legal practitioner Martin Pebo has indicated that the manner in which this case involving Oliver Barker-Vormawor is proceeding is a violation of the personal liberties of the two persons involved.
To deny Vormawor bail was expressly dealt with. Justice Taylor considered that provision. So we are talking about section 96, subsection 5. Okay. Yes, one of the considerations that a judge should use in determining whether to grant bail. Remember, the overriding theme or the main thing is that it's a discretion the judge exercises, right? Because all offenses are bailable now, right? Now, in exercising the discretion, the judge considers a number of factors. So one of them is that if the person before the judge, that's the accused person or suspect, is one who is already on bail for a previous offense, right? Then it should influence not just any offense, an offense that if he is convicted, he may be sentenced to serve more than 6 months. Then the judge can look at that and use it to deny him bail, right? Yes, pure law, that's how it's stated in the section 96, subsection 5 of the Act 30. But the point is that, the laws are subject to interpretation by judges, right? Yeah, judges make law. We can't run away from that. So in 1976, the case of Oko versus the Republic came before Taylor J. I want to say Taylor J. At that time, Justice Taylor was a High Court judge. Subsequently, he rose through the ranks to become a Supreme Court judge. By 1976, he was a High Court judge. So Taylor J looked at that provision and did a lot of analysis from English cases, all that, and concluded that, listen, that's a very dangerous provision, right?
That's lawyer Martin Pebo, a private legal practitioner there.
Still on the issues of Galamsey, the Omahene of Chifu Atimokwa traditional area in the central region, Osiadeyo Kwesikenin IV, and other defendants, including a Chinese miner, have been accused to have illegally mined 85% of a 14.73 acres concession belonging to a licensed small-scale mining enterprise. This is said to constitute an infraction and aggravated illegality under the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the form Act 703. Meanwhile, the former president, John Agyemang Kufuor, has also waded into the discussion, calling on academia to propose lasting solutions to the Galamsey challenge. The former president spoke at an event to confer honorary doctorate degrees on him and Professor S.K.B. Asante by the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA.
The topic of illegal mining and the proper use of our natural resources is one we must address with critical analysis and urgency to achieve the long-term solutions that we must have. I therefore urge thought leaders such as the academia, especially institutions like GIMPA, to take up the mantle and lead conversations that bring practical solutions to these pressing national challenges for the immediate and long term.
For former President John Agyemang Kufuor there. So, Alfred, let's stay on issues of galamsey and what we can say environmental degradation, because 5 civil society groups are praying an Accra High Court to restrain the Lands Ministry and Forestry Commission from proceeding with plans to declassify globally significant biodiversity areas. The CSOs are seeking a perpetual injunction to prevent any transactions, contracts, or undertakings that grant commercial timber right in these areas. The organization's primary concern is the unlawful issuance of timber utilization contract without parliamentary ratification.
And Grace, we'll come back to this particular story. Very, very important indeed. But we're just getting information that the Electoral Commission has announced that it would hold another inter-party advisory committee as an IPAC meeting tomorrow, October 15, 2024. We just have a statement from the Electoral Commission to that effect. If we go on our Facebook page right now at 3FM927, we're going to post that press release from the Electoral Commission shortly. According to the Electoral Commission, the main agenda for the meeting will be the re-exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register. Now, this follows the ongoing efforts by the Commission to ensure that the voter register is accurate and transparent, allowing for a smooth electoral process. The EC has been engaging political parties and other stakeholders in this regard to ensure full cooperation and participation. Now, the press release that we have a copy of, the EC is urging all political parties to attend the meeting with a maximum of 2 representatives. This limitation on the number of attendees is likely aimed at ensuring that the meeting remains focused and productive, allowing for more efficient discussions on the matters at hand. And Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC, is joining us on the telephone. Dr. Computer, good evening. Thank you for joining us here.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's good to have you join us. So first off, let me start from where I ended. The call to the parties is that you should come with 2 representatives for some level of orderliness and a focused and productive conversation tomorrow. That shouldn't be a problem, is it?
Well, we have no issues with that.
Okay.
Even if they are looking for 1 person, we are ready for them.
Next.
We are always ready to engage. To make sure that any activity that will engender the credibility of the register and then the electoral process, we are part and parcel of it.
Great. The next issue is the agenda for the meeting tomorrow, which we understand is expected to be the conversation about the re-exhibition of the voters register, which the Electoral Commission has also issued a press statement detailing that it's supposed to start tomorrow, online re-exhibition. You had indicated that even though you support the online re-exhibition, you want offline to be considered as well. That has not been, at least as far as we do know now, considered by the Electoral Commission. Is it one that you're going to raise tomorrow?
Very well. Let me put it on record that although we've seen their statement, haven't given us a letter inviting us for the IPAC tomorrow, the Electoral Commission, as we speak now, they have not given us the revised provisional voters register, as indicated at the last IPAC meeting. And yet they have announced that they are doing the online exhibition tomorrow. Yet the political parties, I can speak for my party, the NDC, we have not received it yet. So the Electoral Commission is reneging on their own promise. That is not good enough. Because you have made the general public to believe that you are exhibiting the register tomorrow, but the political parties, who are key stakeholders in this process, have not been given the register. And so, needless to say, this exhibition thing that they are going to do, yes, we thought that it's proper for them to add the online exhibition, the offline exhibition, because of our rural voters. Majority of our rural voters, they cannot go online to check their names. This strings they are going to put on my grandmothers, grandfathers, my uncles and all that who are illiterate. They have not gone to school. They don't know anything about online business, yet you want them to check. So invariably, this thing they are doing is just for the elite. That online thing they are going to exhibit is for the elite. Majority of Ghanaians will be out of this bracket. And that is not fair enough. And that's why we are recommending that at least they should add that one. Well, fair enough. As a political party, we have taken it upon ourselves. As soon as we get hold of the register, we will find means of making sure that we will do an offline exhibition by ourselves, because we cannot afford disenfranchising Ghanaians. People will not be able to get access to find out whether they are named, because the EC, according to their statement, they are aware that there could be some discrepancies again, because they've given us, interestingly enough, they've given us template. As of last week, they sent us a letter with a template as to how to collect discrepancies if we see it in the register. You have not given me a register, you have already given me a template. We are holding the template, no register.
See, and so you subscribe to those concerns by some who have raised the issue about the mobile phone penetration in this country, because if you look at the statement by the Electoral Commission, they give a USSD code that people can use to check their details with this online re-exhibition that is going to start tomorrow. Now, the issue is about the fact that there are some areas in the country that don't have mobile phone coverage or connectivity, so they would be at a disadvantage. Is it one that, as a party, you're concerned about and an issue that you would raise at the party, that's the IPAC meeting tomorrow?
Certainly, it's one of the key issues. We will take it up with them. I mean, I said majority of our rural voters and even some communities, they don't network. You will go there, you network, you are cut off. The people don't even understand this USSD thing that they've put out there. They don't know how to go about it. So how are they going to check their names? How are they going to check their names? So they will be disadvantaged. And then these are the things we want Ghanaians, civil society, to take interest in. I mean, this thing they are doing is just for the elite. How many Ghanaians can go online to check their name or use USSD to check? How many of them? It's just for the city dwellers and all that. How about my community and all that? Nobody, I can assure you, all the voters and nobody can check his or her name online because they don't know anything about it. These are the issues we are talking of. And so sometimes when we are saying these things, it's for the government of Ghana. We are all talking about this. But, well, let's see what comes out of it. I mean, maybe tomorrow after the meeting, the discussion, they will reason with us and then see how best they can do that and try to help the rural voters and those who might not be able to go online to check this thing.
Well, but the Electoral Commission had indicated in that October 1 press statement, I remember quite clearly, that the reason why they cannot do the offline that you were asking for in the interest of transparency is an element of cost, that it was going to be too costly to conduct another offline exhibition, as in physical exhibition, for people to go to specific centers to check their names.
Are we not running democracy? That is the primary meaning of democracy. Cost should not be a barrier. It shouldn't be a barrier at all. Look at the money we have sunk into that useless hood called Cathedral. What has come out of it? $58 million. Where is it? If they manage to recoup that money, can't you do all these things? And we'll still have something reserved. But we have used it to dig a hole. And it's lying down there. You see, these are the things we are talking about. So when they are talking about cost, you look at the wastage in the system and you ask yourself, what kind of cost are they talking about? Look at how people are wasting our resources in this country. People have opened bank accounts in their rooms and start huge sums of money, huge sums of dollars, pounds and all that in their rooms. There one, you are not talking about it. You see, this thing they are talking about cost, it shouldn't be a barrier to them doing the right thing. In any case, when a majority leader, current majority leader, Agyemang, sent the whole Electoral Commission to court. You remember about the issue about this assembly election when one of the clients from Winneba thought he was being disenfranchised about the issue. After they have finished all the process, the court ruled that the election shouldn't proceed. What happened? Did they send anybody to court or to prison over that? Did we go to arrest Electoral Commission officers for wasting Ghana money on that? So cost should not be a barrier to doing the right thing. Where we get the money, the state should look for the money and let them do the right thing. So that nobody says, look, disenfranchising one person means that we are likely not to have a president, because the benchmark for being a president is 50 plus 1 vote. 50 plus 1. So it means that every one vote in this country is as important as the quantum of votes that you are going to get. And so when they say 50 plus 1, the framework of the Constitution wants to say that they knew of it and wanted everybody votes to to be described as important. That is why they say 50 plus 1. So if our action and inaction is to disenfranchise one person's vote, the person has the right to raise his voice over this. And that's why we think that they should do the right thing. They shouldn't bring force as a barrier.
We'll see how the meeting tomorrow plays out. I thank you so much.
I'm grateful.
Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC.
Well, Alfred, let's go back to that earlier story on the CSOs that are in court over government allowing some form of logging in some forest reserves. And the organization's primary concern is the unlawful issuance of timber utilization contract without parliamentary ratification. Arocha Ghana argues that this practice is illegal and undermines the country's environmental protection efforts. So here are some of the reliefs these 5 CSOs are seeking. They want a declaration that declassification of globally significant biodiversity areas is unlawful. They also want a declaration that issuance of contract without parliamentary ratification is unlawful. They want an order for perpetual injunction restraining Lands Ministry and Forestry Commission from any transaction involving granting timber licenses in listed areas, and then an order restraining the ministry again and the Forestry Commission from further declassifying globally significant biodiversity areas. Obed Osu Adai is with EcoCare, one of the plaintiffs, and joins us for a conversation. Obed, thank you for joining us. Why has this become so important to these 5 CSOs?
Thank you very much for having me, and good evening to your listeners. Yes, EcoCare, in partnership with the other 4 NGOs, are in court because we think the government, acting through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the Forestry Commission, are acting in ways that undermine the environmental integrity of our country. One, they are declassifying globally significant biodiversity areas. And these areas have been in existence for over 30 years. When Ghana entered into the CBD, the Convention on Biodiversity, we set aside these forest reserves as protected areas to be managed and kept for posterity. And this minister, acting through the Forestry Commission, is attempting to declassify these areas. What it means is that we are going to destroy areas that we've been protecting for over 30 years, areas that are playing such important roles for the microclimate that we are enjoying in the country. So based on all that, we decided to go to court. But we also know that by just merely going to court doesn't solve it. You need to prove with law. And then the law that we are standing on is the Act 547, which clearly states that before you can issue any contract with the timber company, it needs to be ratified by Parliament, one. It also needs to go through a certain competitive bidding process. And we have realized that the ones that have been issued did not go through all these processes, which should be annulled by the court. So that is the basis for petitioning the court to listen to our case and rule on behalf, not just for us, but for the country.
So, Obed, we know that this is not the first suits coming from the CSOs when it comes to issues of protecting the environment and environmental degradation. We know that some of the CSOs are also in court over the LI 2462. Would you say you are okay with the level of progression in these cases, or you'd rather want some form of speed? They say the rules of justice grind slowly.
Well, my sister, maybe the case I would want to make reference to is the Atiwa case, mining in the Atiwa Forest Reserve, which has been in court for the past 2 years. And it was surprising to know that they have not even been able to cross-examine some of our key people that testify. It is true that the rules of justice grind slowly, but we will beg to say that justice denied or justice delayed is justice denied. And the earlier we work through the court to resolve some of these issues, we are happy. We are happy that the Attorney General has agreed with us that when it comes to the mining and forest reserve law, that law is bad and that they are revocating that law. We are saying that, and we are praying them that in the same way that they saw that law was bad, they should also see that mining in forest reserves, logging in protected areas are also bad for the country, and that we should revoke any law, any provision that allows us to go into some of these very, very, very sensitive ecological areas to go and mine or log.
I know, but it is obvious that the CSOs are worried about what is going on. Besides this, the legal routes, what else are you doing to ensure advocacy or increase awareness in the issues of environmental protection?
Well, what we sought to do first, to listen to the president who said we should be citizens and not spectators. So as citizens, we have the right to the court system. In addition to that, we have also written petitions to the U.S. government because the current minister, he is a co-chair of a very important body that he co-chairs with the U.S., I think, vice president. And so we have written a petition to them. We have also written to the World Bank. We've written to the European Union. We've written to the CBD Secretariat, invoking their inherent responsibility to call our leaders into order, because we realize that when we go to the street, we have done protests, we have sent a petition to Parliament, but we are not seeing anything happening. So we have resorted to, in addition to the court, to also look for external support and help with our international partners to see how they will be able to call our leaders to order for them to stop this environmental raping that they are raping the country.
All right, Obed, thank you for talking to us. Obed Owusu Adai is with EcoCare, one of the plaintiffs that have sued government and the Ministry of Lands and Forest, and also the Forestry Commission, to ensure that they stop the logging of timber and some other woods in forest reserves and other globally significant biodiversity areas. Alfred.
Also live here on Key Point, also that's on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on 3news.com. We're live as well on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond, also on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Over the weekend, and that's Grace on Key Point, Senor Jose called for all to join in the fight against illegal mining and the matters arising related to issues of logging as well. Let's take a listen to exactly the demand that he made and this Red Monday as has begun today.
The Catholic Church, they led this charge. I was happy to be having part of them. And they did it. They protested in that prayer walk. I'm not Catholic. I joined them. It's the largest gathering I have seen. I've not seen this MPP put that gathering before. If tomorrow they say we should all get out there, you know what we're doing? People are rather busy in their cars taking videos and watching. Hey, Senor, as I said, me and Kokuma now want to game. See that, guys. We can't wait for anybody to fight our fight for us. At this junction in our life, we have to turn right. Left is not an option. We have to turn to that which is right for the good of our Ghana. That which is right for our children and our children's children. We are not going to wait for any Bampo to get his sense together. We are not going to wait for any Joshua to get his sense together. And I'm not going to spend my energy on disorganized labor. Are they disorganized? They are. All right? And I thank God for UTAG that they still maintain the conscience of the country. I understand the basis for a conversation. Government, these were the demands of organized labor. 1, immediate declaration of a state of emergency in line with the provision of the 1992 Constitution, in an order to halt to all forms of mining, immediate evacuation of all mining equipment in forest reserves and around water bodies, the deployment of the police and military with full orders to remove, destroy all mining equipment and other earth-moving equipment. In water bodies? In forest reserves and water bodies. I mean, now the politicians are beginning to reduce that part of it. I mean, not you, but I'm saying generally, realize the conversation is now going water bodies. They are forgetting that there's a forest reserve part of it.
Senor Jose was one of the leaders of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining and Illegal Logging as well, and talk about strikes. Grace, UTAG is on strike to drum home the issues related to the fight against illegal mining, but the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana and the Federation of University Senior Staff Association, that's FUSAG, they have suspended their ongoing strike action effective Wednesday, October 16. This decision comes after an emergency meeting held earlier today, during which the associations received a formal letter from government addressing the key demands. The letter indicated that the government had approved the new rates for the vehicle maintenance allowance and off-campus allowance for eligible members of the associations. In addition, the National Executive Committees of the associations announced that the suspension of the strike would allow for further engagement with government to finalize negotiations on the conditions of service, which were already underway. The National Executive Committee also emphasized that other issues highlighted in the original strike notice, including the migration of the University of Media, Arts and Communications, as UNIMAC, to the university's pay structure, are being actively addressed. The negotiations are to be resolved within 2 weeks, as outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding signed October 2, 2024. So that's the latest development with the FUSAG and the USAG strikes. We understand they have called off their strike effective this coming Wednesday, but to some unfortunate news which we've been following quite closely. Now, 2 more persons have been confirmed dead, bringing the number of persons who have perished in the last night's accident on the Akrofi Road to 14. 11 of the victims died on the spot and 3 were confirmed at the hospital. The 14 persons, including a toddler, have been confirmed dead after their vehicle veered off the road and landed in a river at Kwapia on the Akrofi Road in the Ashanti region. The unfortunate incident had left residents frightened. 49 passengers were on board the VIP bus traveling from Kumasi to Samreboy. This is the second major road accident in the Ashanti region in the last 3 days. And man, Ibrahim Abubakar, who's been following this quite closely, is joining us on the telephone. Ibrahim, quite a sad development we have in there, but what's the latest to this as far as you do know?
Well, as we speak, out of the 8 who are still receiving treatment at the Obuasi Government Hospital, 6 have been discharged, 2 are still on admission, but in a stable condition. And so it's shocking to many, because if you look at the road carnages, within just 3 days, 21 lives gone just like that. And this is something that is worrying. In Ashanti region alone, between January to June, 325 lives are gone, all in road accidents. And now that even authorities have intensified their campaign and training of drivers, then we are recording such unfortunate incidents. So for now, the drivers, or I would say the police, has commenced investigation into the matter, and they say they will address the media later in the day. But currently, like you said, 14 have been confirmed dead. In fact, the toddler was later seen. He was buried under the water. It was even after they were done with the rescue mission and everything, the NADMO officials, everyone has left there. Then some of the residents just spotted him, and he was buried under the water with sand. And they had to pull him out and also send him to the morgue. In fact, it's a very sad situation. There was a lady I met who survived. She said she was traveling with her husband and the mother, and as we speak, all of them are dead.
It's sad. So, but Ibrahim, as troubling as this is this an accident-prone area? I mean, as far as you do know, this particular area?
Exactly, because of the sharp turn there. Usually, or often, drivers do not take their time whenever they reach that spot. It's a very sharp curve, and this time around, the information we even gathered from some of the victims, some of the surviving victims, they said though the driver was at top speed, he was also arguing with some of the passengers because they decided not to allow him to take additional passengers on board. Already the bus was supposed to have picked 39, and there were 49 in the bus, and he still wanted to stop and pick another person, and they resisted that. So in that confrontation, he turned his back just to speak to them, only for them to find themselves in the river. And that caused the unfortunate incident. Because it was at a 4 speed and it was in the night too, probably that's how come the casualty was even higher.
Ibrahim, I appreciate this update as always. Thank you so much. Ibrahim Abubakar is Ashanti Regional Correspondent there.
Alfred, from one unfortunate incident to the other, one person has been arrested in connection with the Mamobi violent incident that happened over the weekend. 2 people were shot and 6 others are said to be receiving treatment at the police hospital and Mamobi General Hospital following that clash between the 2 major political party supporters. The incident occurred near the Mamobi market when sympathizers were having their weekly campaign walks. The police, in its latest statement on the incident, said it's working around the clock to get all identified perpetrators arrested to face justice, happening barely 24 hours after the incident. The statement further went on to assure Ghanaians that the investigations are ongoing into the disturbances. Let us go on the phone and engage Dr. Adam Bona, a security analyst, on the latest development. Doc, thank you for talking to us. 24 hours after the incident, 1 person has been arrested. Don't you say this is commendable?
Oh, yes. Good evening. Yes, it's commendable. The police have been swift in apprehending at least one of the suspects who I want to believe is one of the key suspects who actually shot and probably injured these people. I think they should go further and arrest everybody who is involved. Because going into 2024 election, one can easily tell that some of these people, if they get away with these heinous crimes, are likely to repeat them in the 2024 election this time around with a lot of venom. They will come all out because then they perpetrated this and no one judged them. So I want to urge the police to go at all of them. There are videos that are circulating, their faces have shown. So they should arrest all of them as soon as possible. It's important.
Doc, apart from this commendation, though, that's also that conversation that the police did not pick intelligence ahead. Do you agree?
Well, it is possible. It is possible that they didn't pick intelligence. But who would have thought that just I think they were to have an activity together of the sort.
It's their usual weekend health walk. That's how they call it.
Yes. So this was probably one of an event that they've been having for some time. And so for someone to go in there with a firearm suggest, ill motive or suggest intention to kill, intention to harm, and cause mayhem. And that is what happened. And so it is important that where the event took place, if the divisional police commander there, you have to know what happened. What happened? Because as far as I'm concerned, we need to know what happened. But it's instructive to know, just like I said, that they have arrested somebody. Can we ensure that these things don't happen again? But is it possible to say they won't happen? I think the only way is to let this be a deterrent. Arrest them, parade them, send them to court, and punish them severely. Others who took part in demonstrations are still, in detention. So I think that why not? These guys, they should go after all of them. And next time, I think it's important too. Probably the police come out and tell some of these people, if you are going to undertake some of these events, because it's a gathering, let us know. Let us know. Any political gathering, I think it's important that this time around, they should inform the police, just like someone wants to demonstrate. Since it has the potential of violence that could lead to maybe loss of life or serious, bodily and, injuries to those who might be part of it or those close by.
Doc, maybe my final one to you. It looks like the tensions are high going into the elections. What should be the demeanor of the police and the other security agencies to send the strongest or surest caution to the public and anybody that wants to foment trouble?
I think that the demeanor, they should increase the volume on these people. They should ensure, just like they've done in the past, and just as they've arrested this person, they should look for them, find them under their bed, find them in every hole Find them in every corner, in Nima, Mamobi, I'll find them everywhere, pick them up, let them know you are on top of the game, and let us know as soon as they get more people arrested. And then I want to believe that the courts would also assist in ensuring that the right thing is done, because some of these people, the moment they go in there and they are granted bail, they come back to do worse things. So I think that because of the peace of this country, some of these people, when they are caught, I think the court should deal with them and deal with them well, so that probably those who would want to take the laws into their own hands, like we saw, just a needless, or call it just a match or an event together, and then you have people carrying firearms, and a lot of rounds were fired. Not one round, a lot of rounds were fired, and several people getting injured. I mean, it tells you that a lot needs to be done, and I'm happy one person has been arrested.
All right, Doc, thank you for talking to us. Dr. Adam Bona is a security analyst. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress presidential candidate, John Hammoah, has condemned the incident during an engagement in Wa.
I saw what happened the other day in Mamobi, and I hear it was the result of health walks. The two opposing parties were holding health walks or something, and then there was a clash somewhere. But even if there was a clash, I mean, maybe it might not have led to the loss of lives. But people had weapons, and they fired shots and injured people. The reason why this continues is because there's impunity. Those who have those weapons know that nothing will happen to them. They will do it and get away with it because they are operatives of the system. They are people who belong to the political establishment. I saw one clear picture of one of them holding his pistol. Just watch, nothing will happen to them. And as long as nothing happens to them, it will continue. And that's why often I say that the moral voice of society must be heard. And the moral voice of society resides in our chiefs, our religious leaders, our civil society organizations. It's not that these people are not known. The people are known. The society knows those who fired those shots and injured those people. But again, like Ayawasu West Wagon, even if a commission of inquiry is set and says these people should be dealt with, government won't deal with them. And as long as that government doesn't deal with them, others will be emboldened to do the same thing.
NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama there.
It's live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond, and also on W 93.5 in One beyond. From one incident to the other, the Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into an accident that occurred on Saturday, the 12th of October 2024 at East Legon here in Accra, leading to the death of some 2 persons. A police statement indicates preliminary investigations show that the suspect, the driver, identified as Salifo Amoako Jr., rammed his vehicle into another vehicle on the Johnny Ashir Street at East Legon, where both vehicles caught fire and burned beyond recognition. The suspect driver and other surviving victims are currently receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, one of the surviving victims has since been treated and discharged, while the bodies of the deceased victims have been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy. Let's connect with our reporter, Eric Mawana, who's been following this case quite closely. Mawana, this police statement gives an indication of what the police is doing right now, but what more have you gathered as to what's happening with this case?
Right, so Alfred, like the police's statement rightly states, it comes almost 48 hours after the incident, which claimed the 2 lives and left some 2 others in the hospital. The police has come under some criticism over what many perceive to be silence over the matter, which videos which have been widely circulated on social media suggest a case of possible reckless driving and rumors suggesting possible underage suspect driver. All of that has not been confirmed in the police's statement, but what we know right now is that the police is investigating the matter and is looking into it, and it comes as, well, not satisfactory for a lot of people, but it comes as the police's statement on the matter to start off with. But another leg closely tied to this is the 4 children who unfortunately have been caught up in this. We've got indication that they unfortunately are all students of a particular school at East Legon, to be specific, here in Accra. And we've been following up on that particular development, that school, the Cornerstone International Academy here in the capital, Accra. And they unfortunately are the school which take care of the 4 children, of which 2 have unfortunately passed. And because of the incident, the school today, authorities thought it wise to close the school quite early because of the mood surrounding the school and a lot of the happenings as witnessed over the weekend. The school issued a notice to parents that they were closing early today, 1:30 p.m., and that they were bringing forward the midterm holidays from the 15th, which is tomorrow, up until the 18th, which is Friday, and school expected to resume on the 21st of October, to allow for commiserations, to allow for the solemn nature and the sadness with which the incident has hit a lot of the pupils, to wear off a bit for academic activities to be able to continue. And so we made a trip to the school, which was quite deserted this afternoon, a place where you find a lot of laughter, mostly when school kids have closed and they are waiting, their parents picking them. It was nothing like that. Quite deserted places. A handful of students who were still around will not be allowed to particularly film or be able to capture those details with the camera lenses. But we were able to see with the eyes, and it was quite deserted. And it will be so until next week, Monday, a week exactly, where a bit of normalcy will be expected around that part of town following the ghastly accident which was witnessed over the weekend, Alfred.
Eric, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much for the comprehensive detail. Now, we have an eyewitness account of this particular accident, and it's been detailing exactly what he saw after this rather unfortunate accident.
Before I realized the security room started falling, then I realized that there is an accident here. So we came to the scene. I and my boss called Mr. Pujo Asafwedu, who is the assistant managing director. He was also inside, so he also came out for the scene. So when we came out, we saw a crowd entering the house. They were pushing the gate that we should open the gate. So I opened the gate for them, not knowing they were trying to rescue those in the car. So they couldn't. So they rushed inside to try if they can bring the people out. So unfortunately, when I opened the gate for them and they entered, we were able to rescue 2 people out of the car. But the remaining 2, we couldn't rescue them. Already they say the driver is out. But honestly speaking, what happened outside, I wasn't outside because I was defending fire entering the house. So I was bringing fire extinguishers to those who are around to fight the fire. So that is the job I was doing, going up and down, bringing water and fire extinguishers. So it was then that a Muslim guy also tried his best to break through the fire to bring one young lady out, who is a child. By that time, the girl was very weak, but she was rushed to the hospital. So looking at the way the fire strike, we do everything to bring the fire under control so that we can rescue the remaining people in the car. But we try everything. The extinguisher couldn't help us. We try to throw fire into the fire, but looking at 2 cars that are burning at the same time, there is nothing we can do. So I started calling fire service. People were calling fire service. The response wasn't coming. So it's unfortunately the water suppliers, those who have been supplying water to people's home, they came to the scene and they were carrying water, 4 tanks. So it's through the help of those people that the fire couldn't enter the house.
the chilling detail of this eyewitness of this East Legon car crash, which, as we speak, has claimed 2 lives. And Grace, it's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, Alfred. I was just picturing the picture Mawina was telling us about in the school, and how friends and colleagues of the 2 who perished will be reacting, the trauma and all that they will be going through by now because they've lost their friends. It's quite unfortunate.
Indeed. And to think that, look, a mother and 2 children, on their way somewhere else, are rather caught in all of this.
And like an accident and there's also fire. So it's like a double dose of everything unfortunate, everything hard, everything difficult. I mean, it's too much, Alfred.
Today has been a day of a mix of
from the weekend, actually,
from good and bad.
From the weekend,
indeed, because it's been one troubling story
incident or the other. And
what more do you have? Another unfortunate one?
Yes, this one in Bujumbura. And a tragic incident has occurred on the Bujumbura stretch of the Accra-Winneba Highway after a rock blasted by a construction company working on the road caused extensive damage. 3FM sources say the rock blast, which lasted for a few minutes, was done after several vehicles on the stretch were halted for the activity to take place. This is not the first time rocks have been blasted on the Bujumbura section of the highways, according to residents of the area. They say the blasting of the rock most of the time destroys the roofing sheet of houses around the Big Apple area when the construction work is happening. Some residents were angry in the area, attacked workers of the company working on the stretch, and we are told 4 people have died and a lot more injured. Let's connect with our correspondent in the central region, Nana Yawasari, who has more on this. Nana, if you can hear me, update us on this. Well, we have lost Nana. We worked the phone to get to him to update us on what exactly happened and then how the residents are reacting. Of course, the condition of those who have been injured. But before we do that, though, Bismarck Awusa is in the studio. He has the latest when it comes to the world of business, and he's ready to give that to us. Bismarck, what do you have for us?
So tonight it's about a couple of issues. The first has to do with the Bank of Ghana, the latest coming from the Bank of Ghana on the chiefs.
The Koumahini and the ADB issues and all that is coming up. Yeah.
And all that.
All right.
The most comprehensive election coverage.
Top-notch presenters and well-versed analysts.
Dedicated reporters and correspondents in every nook and cranny across the country.
All the action, every incident reported. All the big stories covered.
All facts cross-checked. Every figure verified.
Every vote monitored and accounted for.
The numbers tallied, analyzed, and interpreted.
We have invested time and energy in order to bring you a comprehensive elections coverage.
The whole world will be watching us on TV, online, and radio.
Election Command Center. Facts, analysis, results.
Good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up tonight, Ghana cedi ranked among worst performing currencies in sub-Saharan Africa in 2024. We'll bring you the latest World Bank Africa Pulse report. Thanks for your company. Now to the detail. The Ghana cedi has been ranked as the fourth worst performing currency in sub-Saharan Africa in 2024, losing about 24% of its value against the US dollar. That's according to the World Bank's latest Africa Pulse report. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report. The World Bank's October 2024 Africa Pulse report has revealed that the Ghana cedi is one of the weakest currencies in sub-Saharan Africa, losing 24% of its value against the US dollar this year. It ranks as the fourth worst performing currency in the region, following South Sudanese pound, which has depreciated by over 60%, the Ethiopian birr, down by 51%, and Nigeria's naira, which has lost more than 40% of its value. In contrast, the Kenyan shilling has been the best performing currency in the region, appreciating by 21% by August 2024. The report attributes the cedi's poor performance, alongside other currencies like the naira and the birr, to strong demand for foreign exchange, limited dollar inflows, and slow foreign exchange disbursements. The report further highlights ongoing concerns over foreign exchange shortages, with over a third of sub-Saharan African countries expected to have less than 3 months of imports in reserves by the end of 2024. Despite some currency stabilization, exchange rate pressures remain a significant challenge for African policymakers. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on latest World Bank Africa Pulse reports ranking the cedi among worst performing currencies in the sub-region. Moving on, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Dr. Patrick Ofori, has recognized the role of the Bank of Ghana's Gold for Oil program for slowing down the rate of depreciation of the cedi. While acknowledging some implementation challenges, Dr. Ofori emphasized the program's positive impact on oil purchases, contributing to currency stabilization.
In the last 9 or so months, MEF alone, through Bank of Ghana and our collaboration with them through their gold trading program, has supplied our members over $900 and something million. So that alone, if we had gone to the commercial banks to source for that, it could have also shot the exchange rate up. But once there is a guarantee and that our cedis are able to channel through MEF as an entity for them to use it to purchase gold through PMMC and then export and give us the resultant dollars, we are okay. So in our program or in our quest, we normally refer to as that gold for forests. That was how we dubbed it, not necessarily going by the government slogan of gold for oil. What we are interested in is that forest availability and then the liquidity for us to be able to trade.
And that was Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Dr. Patrick Ofori. Before we go, Regional Coordinator of Consumer Advocacy Group, CATS International, Apia Kusi Adumako, is urging for stricter penalties to combat the persistent issue of fuel dispenser tampering in Ghana. He proposes an amendment to fine cheating firms up to 25% of their previous year's profits or sales volume, calling it a necessary measure to protect consumers and ensure value for money.
I think that when you are caught, the punishment is not deterrent enough. In some countries, what they do is that when you are caught for cheating consumers at the pump, what they do is that they look at your previous year profit and then they slap up to 25% of your previous year profit as a fine. And when you pay a quarter of your previous year profit as a punishment, the next time you do the right thing. So what we would like to suggest is that we'll need to amend end the punishment, because last time when those firms were arrested, they paid less than 20,000 cedis. And if a firm knows that I can make 50,000 cedis from the cheating that I'm doing in a day, and when I'm arrested and I'll pay 20,000 cedis as a fine, I think that there's more incentive for people to cheat and pay the fine when they are arrested. But if you make the fine so punitive, I'm sure that once you are caught and you are taken to court and fined, you will not come back and repeat the sin again.
That was Regional Coordinator of Consumer Advocacy Group, CATS International, Apia Kusi Adumako, ending the business segment on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Bill Lishan is here for the sports. Do stay.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Lishen, and we're going to start off from the AFCON 2025 qualifiers because there's a saga that's been happening with Nigeria and Libya. Now, the Nigerian players have decided to boycott their game against Libya after they were stranded at the airport for 13 plus hours without food, water, and because of that, they've returned back to Nigeria. Three sports sources can confirm that they are back in Nigeria and would not honor that game against Libya on Tuesday in the AFCON 2025 qualifiers. And we've been speaking to Nigerian journalist Ayodeji Adegbenro, who did mention that the CAF president actually requested for the game to still continue, but the Nigerian players denied, and he believes that the CAF president made a wrong move by requesting for that game to still be played.
When the CAF president was making that request, the team was still stuck in the airport, and the Nigerian government said no through our own Minister of Sports. And for me, it's interesting that at that point, the major concern for the CAF president is that the game should still go on. It's not about the safety of the players, their health situation, their mental health. They've been locked down in an airport overnight, no food, no water. And you are still talking about them, after going through all of that, you expect them to travel 3.5 hours by road, then to still play a game. I mean, it's ridiculous, to say the least.
It's indeed ridiculous. Now, Ayodeji Adegbenro also added that he does not expect CAF to give heavy sanctions on Libya after that saga. It has been revealed that CAF has referred this case to their disciplinary committee. Let's listen to Ayo.
I think the Libyans took it to the extreme this time around. This is not the first time teams from sub-Saharan Africa have suffered from underhand tactics from North African teams. I mean, if you speak to clubs from sub-Saharan Africa who constantly play CAF competitions in North Africa, they go through some sort of treatment or the order, but CAF has never done anything. I mean, we all saw on TV where you play a game in North Africa at night and thousands of people who have laser pens pointed at your goalkeeper throughout the game. And CAF has never done anything. CAF has never punished these teams. CAF has never sanctioned any of the FAs involved, which is why they get bold to do this more and more and more. I really don't expect anything from the CAF disciplinary committee. I think the best case scenario for Nigeria will be Libya FA will be sanctioned and they will reschedule the game at a neutral venue at a later date. But looking at the international window, there is literally no space to reschedule that game.
That was Ayodeji Adebero, a sports journalist from Nigeria, giving us updates on what's been happening with the Nigeria and Libya saga in the AFCON 2025 qualifiers. But let's move on to local football, where Hartlepool clinched their second win of the season during the weekend after beating Young Apostles by 2-1 away from home. Abubakar Ouattara, who is the head coach of Hartlepool and has been under fire for the last few weeks, had this to say after that victory.
It's a very tough match. I know it can be difficult for us because of so many things, and the Young Apostles are a very good side, but we're trying to maintain them. We get the 3 points. I think it's our second win. We can't jubilate too much. We are continuing to hard working to see what can happen in this league. But second win, we have 2 defeats, 2 wins, we have 2 draw. I think we are going to make our effort to do that hard work to go forward. It's not easy, but we are going to do. Coach.
That was Hartlepool coach Abubakar Ouattara. Here are the results in the Ghana Premier League from match day 6. Salamatex defeated Nswatraman by 2-0. Bechem United defeated Mediama SC by 2-0. Ediana defeated Dreams by 2-0. Hartlepool won against Young Apostles by 2-1. Basake Holy Stars defeated Karela by 1-0. Nations FC and Bibiani Gold Stars drew 1-1. Heart of Lions and Vision FC drew 0-0, and Accra Lions and Berekum Chelsea drew 1-1 as well. Now here are the standings in the Ghana Premier League after match day 6. Bibiani Gold Stars are on top with 12 points. Asante Kotoko second with 11. Mediama SC third with 11. Samatex fourth with 10 points. Now at the bottom side, we have Young Apostles, who are 16th with just 5 points. Dreams FC are 17th with 3 points, and Legon Cities are right at the bottom with 1 point. Hartlepool are currently 9th with 8 points on the log. And that's how we bring an end to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Billy Shen. Grace, Alfred, and the rest of the team are on standby with more.
When the in the airport, and the Nigerian government said no through our own Minister of Sports, and for me it's interesting
Imagine a place where voices matter, where every corner, every street, every community is a platform.
A big bus moving through Accra, carrying conversations, questions, and the pulse of the nation. This is not just another show, it's your voice on the move.
Join us as 3FM Sunrise hits the road, turning ordinary streets into platforms for extraordinary dialogue. Speak freely, listen deeply, and help shape the conversation that drives Ghana forward.
Look out for the bus and tune in exclusively on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
This is 3FM 92.7, your election command center.
Welcome back. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. My name is Grace Hammoah, Agyemang. I'm here with Alfred Ocansey. So some news coming in from the Ghana Health Service to all media houses and, of course, to the general public. It says the Ghana Health Service confirmed a case of cholera in the Adawas district of Greater Accra region on 4th October 2024. The person presented to the health facility with vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain a couple of days after attending a funeral in Ada East. Subsequently, Ada East district also reported confirmed cases of cholera. As of 11th October, 9 cholera cases had been confirmed in both districts, Ada West and Ada East. Following the notification, the public health response activities undertaken include public health emergency management committees at all levels, national, regional, and district have been activated. A joint multi-sectoral public health emergency rapid response team from the national, regional, and district levels, as well as representatives from the National Commission for Civic Education, GES, NADMO, and environmental health units from the 2 affected districts has been activated. An ongoing outbreak investigation has also begun. An assessment are being conducted. An alert has been sent to all health facilities across the country, and contact identifications, tracing, and follow-ups are being done. Healthcare workers in the affected areas have been sensitized on case definitions for cholera, sample management, and case management. Daily active community case search is being conducted. Strict infection prevention and control practices in all health facilities have been enforced. A cholera oral rehydration center for cases with mild symptoms has been set up. So that is the caution coming from the Ghana Health Service. The public is encouraged to practice proper hygiene because after 9 cases have been recorded, there is a likelihood that it might spread to other regions or districts right now. And Alfred, it looks like it is an avalanche of outbreaks. We know we are already dealing with measles vaccination to help us combat the measles outbreak among children. Right. Some few months ago, we were talking about MPAX in the Greater Accra, Eastern and Central regions. Sure. And then government is also doing a polio vaccination starting on October 17 to also help fight the polio cases detected, especially in Koforidua. And now we're talking about cholera. So the basic rule is that practice proper hygiene, wash your hands as much as possible, and just try and stay safe. You don't want to miss out on the Christmas festivities and all that is coming.
And the elections.
Of course, and the elections, Alfred.
And that's why we remain your election command center. This is your election command center. The NDC vice presidential candidate, Professor Nana Jane Agyemang, says the NDC will return to power to complete abundant school and health projects in order to build the capacity of students and create jobs for the youth. She was addressing students of the Goso Nurses and Midwifery Training School in the Ahafo region as part of her campaign tour of the Ahafo region. She said the NDC cares for the youth, reason the party established more schools and educational facilities, but unfortunately, those that could not be completed have been abandoned for 8 years, and promised the next NDC government will complete them. This is what she had to say.
For a party that has not built. We are all talking about uncompleted buildings. Let's just stay on this campus. For 8 years, tell me one building that has come here. Can anyone tell me? On this same campus. You can't. You just come and take a small link in the chain of education. You collapse the others. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. Otherwise, you don't have any chain. And that's what we are experiencing now. To what end is that? So yes, the fees are free. Fine. What else is not free? And I'm not talking about the provisions and so on. I'm talking about the future. We plan to retool, refit, try to complete the abandoned hospitals, as I said. And yet we know that we are in hard times in terms of finances. It's a very difficult time for this country ever to be in. Never have we been here before.
And that's Professor Nana Agyemang Agyemang. That's a running mate to John Dramani Mahama, flag bearer of the NDC. And let's stay a bit further on this because we're moving every step of the way with that campaign team. And Komla Kluche is a man on the beat. He's joining us right now on the telephone. Komla, what more has Professor Nana Agyemang Agyemang been talking about?
Well, I am with John Mahama, not Professor Nana Agyemang Agyemang. But I mean, if it's about what John Mahama has been saying, it's been a very packed day for him in the Upper West region. He started off with a meeting with the traditional authorities of the Regional House of Chiefs, where he's been condemning the Mamobi, the clashes between the NDC and then the NPP in the Mamobi enclave. He says he's become helpless in this issue, especially on the back of complaints that he has raised on electoral violence, and he says all of this is as a result of impunity, and that if security of the state security apparatus is not able to stand firm and act, the level of impunity would expand, and this could possibly be affecting a lot of things, including people taking the law into their own hands. But beyond that, he's been speaking on social commitment involving the 25 commitments he has pledged to the people of Ghana to fulfill in his first 120 days, which includes investigations of the ills of the Akrofi administration. The cathedral is of essence. The issue of so many other issues. All the issues he has spoken about in terms of investigating. He's retreated them to the chiefs, who have given him a lot of thumbs up and said they will back him, because whatever it would take for him to recover what has been unlawfully taken from the state and used for the development of the country, they as local authority or they as traditional rulers, they buy into that idea, and whatever support there is that they can give him and his administration if he secures the mandate of the people, they are willing to do that. They've equally been talking about development in the Upper West region. This region, yes, it is a stronghold of the NDC, but in the last 8 years, it appears, this is according to the chiefs and also the NDC, that development has actually not happened in the region at all, especially with their roads. He's been promising them that the region that produce cotton especially, he would revamp the cotton industry, by so doing, get a private management to be able to have this done, especially in the Sela Enclave, so they're able to support the textile industries. Creation of jobs as well is one of the topmost priorities that John Mahama is promising the people. And so, yes, he's still on it. Now we are in the stronghold of the NPP within the Upper West region. Lambuse, we are in Nandon. As we speak now, we are in Nandon. And you know the Nandon seat is a seat which is held by the former Interior Minister, Lawyer Ambrose Derry, and he's been making a case that the NDC has a lot of interest in this seat and that they are willing to snatch the seat from the NPP. So they increase their numbers to get a whole number of 11 seats that the region has.
Great detail there, and Komla is moving every step of the way with the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama there. Komla Kluche connecting with us still here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We are live on W93.5 in One Beyond. A lot more on campaign trail.
Yes, Alfred, let's go to the camp of the NPP, and wife of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Samira Bawumia, has urged voters in Idrasa Chedumase in the Ashanti region to reconsider their long-standing support for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and vote for the new Patriotic Party in the coming elections if they want development. Idrasa Chedumase is one of the 4 constituencies the NDC is firmly holding on to in the Ashanti region. Though the NPP has won it once in 2012, the party has intensified campaign, committing a lot of resources to win it back in 2024. Speaking to party members during a health walk and campaign launch in Idra, Samira Bawumia argued that the opposition party has repeatedly failed to deliver on its promises, despite the overwhelming support it has received from the constituent over the years she's spoken to.
Mr. Mo, Abatwo, A.M. Puntu Juma. Amanyosem ye because ye for development. About why ye to ye pesi ebeko ye chibio. Address e Juma say had dear. Menem se mo krom ana. Adenti e bet na ha. Ama NDC abeka shre se. Ye dia ye mombra enko ye chi. Ye bet me ana.
Wife of the presidential candidate of the NPP, Samira Bawumia, they're urging the electorate in Idra Sechedumase to vote the NPP if they want developmental infrastructure. Meanwhile, President Akrofi has also started a two-day tour of the Savannah North and Northeast regions today, while the party's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and his vice, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, are also in the Upper East region mopping up the campaign tour of the area. The NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says his party had demonstrated the ability to resolve major challenges facing the nation and should be giving another 4-year mandate. He told residents of Wenchi that the NPP has demonstrated the ability to implement key policies despite the opposition NDC's pessimism.
Yea, ye nim say, ye the adwin to soa, ye bet me aye. Oma penita than in a party, they have the mindset of impossibilities. Omo adwin kajremo say, yentiminye. Ushe Agyemang ayaye since 2017. Saana eko. You can't say you're the free senior high school education. Eba Ghana. Diaba no mukaye. Almost see yentimi ye. Almost see dada Ghana for. Almost see it was not possible. And you can't say it is possible. You can't no yeah. And then yet the free SHS buy if you watching Nkoda baku 5.7 million children and free senior high school education.
NPP presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there. Let us go back to the central region, Goma, Bujumbura, where an explosion has happened because of some blasting by some company. And my colleague Nana Yawasare is joining me on the phone. Nana, update us on where exactly this happened, how many confirmed dead, what are the injuries, and then the entire situation.
Thank you for having me. It's a sad incident that has occurred this afternoon. What we do now in the Eastern State, the central region. 4 persons have been exposed, others are in physical condition at Bujumbura, following a stone blasting by the contractor in charge of Kaswa Unified Highway. In fact, according to source, this afternoon there was a blast whereby 3 persons have been perished. Currently, we are the Gregory Hospital, and the heavy tension here. The police from Central East Region Police Command are here to protect life. But the youth of Bujumbura are very hungry about the contractor, how he blast the stone this afternoon. According to them, tomorrow they will hit the street with a massive demonstration. According to them, the contractor has told, and they are therefore asking the president to revoke the license of the contractor, that is Maximum Construction Limited. So we are currently at the hospital. In fact, some people have been transferred from the Bujumbura Hospital to the Basama and Specialist Hospital. So there's a huge tension here. It's could occur this afternoon during a storm blasting by the contractor.
All right, Nana, you said that the youth in the area have stormed the hospital. What exactly are they looking for?
In fact, they are trying to go inside the hospital, but the policemen are also here in numbers to bring them. Because according to them, the contractor has told them, according to how the contractor managed to blast this afternoon. In fact, many people have been injured. As we are speaking now, 39 persons have been injured.
How many people?
39.
39.
39, yes, have been injured, and they are in what critical condition. First, 3 persons have been perished. So, according to source, the chief of Gomabudumla could do ASAR. In fact, his nephew was also involved in the death incident. So, according to them, tomorrow they are going to hit the street. They're not going to allow the contractor to work.
Obviously, after the incident, I don't even think the contractor might want to continue working. But did you say 4 people or 3 people are dead? Let's get that number right.
Initially, eyewitness told the news that 4 people who perished. But the authorities of Gomabudumla in Zimbabwe Hospital have made the press and confirmed that the numbers are pressed.
3 people injured, 3 people dead, and 39 injured.
Sure.
And some have been sent to Accra for treatment.
Sure, and Winneba.
Okay. All right. Nana, thank you for that update. We'll definitely come back to you if there's more.
It's been a cocktail of sad news.
Alfred.
Yeah, but here we are. We have the responsibility of bringing it to you. So that's exactly what we've done here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. On behalf of the rest of the team, I want to say thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Alfred Ocansey. Join me at 10 p.m. on TV3 for Ghana Tonight.
I am Grace Hammoah Agyemang. Thank you for spending the last 90 minutes with us. Good evening.